let's traumatize the kids and apologize later and have a good time.
After a very long career in television, what has it been like for you to make your feature film debut?
Very exciting, and it's so different than television. And it's interesting being a showrunner in television and then becoming a director in films. There's so much more reliance on the team. So it really is kind of a communal experience in a way that television, I'm just trapped in a room writing. And this, I got to be in the middle of it all with very exciting people that inspired me every day. So kind of a wonderful transition.
Because even on television, your work has always had such a visual flair. Were there ideas that you were able to execute here that you'd kind of never been able to do on TV?
With television now is so advanced, and we have bigger budgets and that sort of thing. So there's not anything restrictive about television that you say you can do in a movie that you can't do in television. I think perhaps, if anything, television as a machine is probably better supported, and the filmmaking is a little more wild, wild west. And also, because television is, you're with the family, you do an episode, and then you got the next one right in order. So it was a bit of a vacation to do a film that is finite and is going to come to an end, and you don't have to worry about 8 more or 20 more or however more. So there is something about being able to focus and enjoy and being present for a film that you don't have the luxury of in television.
And Sigourney, what was it like for you just stepping on set? Like, what was it like entering Bryan's world?
Oh, it's such an amazing world. We shot in Budapest, and you know, there's something about this film that to me is an instant childhood classic, because it's the young lady Aurora is very empowered and determined, and it reminds me of Maurice Sendak, you know, and I think it has that quality of the absurd, the grotesque, but also the children are going to win. And I think that's so important these days, no matter what horrors might be going on in the world, that this little girl is going to win, and you're in her world. And I think it's such an amazing experience to watch this film. And I loved working with Bryan. I loved working with Mads Mikkelsen, of course, and I loved working with Sophie Sloan, and the whole ensemble is so fabulous. The costumes, the sets, the world. It's just such a unique and wonderful movie.
Because Bryan, Sigourney brings up a great point, in that this is a movie about a child, but I wasn't sure if you were sort of thinking of it as a children's film, as a kid's film.
I came to creative fruition in a way with my taste in movie in the middle of the Amblin, let's traumatize the kids and apologize later and have a good time with a certain amount of violence. So in my mind, we were always making a family movie and a movie that I really want children to see, despite our R rating. And hopefully people will come see it and then decide that it's appropriate for their children and show them. Because really it is about children, for children, and for adults who haven't let go of their inner child. That's our audience.
And was that an issue for you as far as the rating? Like, did you give any thought to changing the movie at all?
I was surprised when we got an R rating.
It's not appropriate. I'm sorry. I'll just go on.
Yeah.
Not appropriate. It's a movie for children, and this was based on, I don't know, some fact. Someone gets killed somehow, but it's off camera, isn't it?
It's a non-lethal toothbrush injury that tipped us into an R rating.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but I just encourage families to go and see this. I think children are going to want to see this again and again and again. It's going to become one of their most loved movies, especially for little girls. You know, against all odds, the little girl prevails, and she's so smart, and she's so resourceful, and she's so determined, and she's so stubborn, and she's so delightful,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
There's such a wonderful sort of internal mythology to the story. Bryan, how did you come to sort of invent all that?
The story started as an abandoned Amazing Stories for when we were working that as a television show. So it was a story that was developed with Steven Spielberg, and we got his notes on it, and his notes are inside the magic of the movie. And he had some very specific thoughts of what he thought the movie should include in terms of a child's world, and there's probably no one better to give you advice on how to tell a children's movie that is both frightening and inspiring. So it really was about creating something that was Amblin oriented in its ability to traumatize and inspire.
I know, Sigourney, in the course of the film, you come to have this kind of amazing, it's part prop, part costume. You have stiletto heels that are also pistols. And what was it like working with those? How did they work as shoes? And then how did it function as a gun?
They really work great. I still have them in my closet in case I need them on the streets of New York. It was, I have to say that I think that we dealt with them a lot of different ways. And so there were, certainly toward the end when I pull them out and start to use them against this thing I don't think exists, it was very empowering to be, it's a good idea. I don't know why no one has ever thought of it. Stiletto heels that double as guns, automatic weapons,
There's something about the armor that a woman carries that she shouldn't be carrying.
Yes. I don't have them on today.
Right.
So you don't have to worry.
You could do the From Russia with Love where you tap them and you have the knife.
I know, and then the
heel.
knife comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
And Bryan, the movie does feature one of your signatures, which is a lot of elaborate graphic wallpaper.
Yes.
Where does this interest for you come from?
Wallpaper is fantastic. It is.
I agree.
I'm a big fan of wallpaper of all varieties, and we actually, when we were in production, what was amazing about Catherine Leterrier, who did all of Sigourney's wardrobe, we got to go to these fantastic fitting houses in Paris where they designed gowns for the Met Gala. And when we went there to see what Catherine was cooking up for Sigourney, we went to Ixelles in Saint Germain and looked at a variety of wallpapers, which were amazing, and a lot of the wallpapers in the movie are from Ixelles. So if you're a wallpaper fan, check out Ixelles.
Yeah. Totes.
And Sigourney, currently right now is a show that's on Alien Earth, and I want to ask you, why do you think that this sort of lineage of stories, the Alien franchise, has endured the way that it has through so many iterations and for so many years?
Well, I think we're fascinated by deep space and what we might experience there. And I especially love in what Noah is doing, this confluence between the greed of the human race and their willingness to, naively interact with this other species. I'm enjoying the show so much because it's much broader than the alien itself. So much about the world in 100 years. I think he's doing an amazing job, and so's the cast. But I just think that it's glorious to think about space and to think about, confronting a creature. Actually, we're going to show it at Cinesperia, I think this week. In the Hollywood Cemetery. And I just think it's so cool that people go there to be exposed to space. And anything can happen. An alien could pop out of nowhere. There are no doors to close or emergency overrides to call on. And so people, I think, love to be terrified. And there's a fascination about this creature that H.R. Giger created that Ridley really cemented, that is also very alluring. It has its own magnetism, and all the other awful things that Noah is introducing as samples into our world. They're just all very nightmarish, and I applaud him.